Morning, everyone. My name is Steve Stringfellow, campaign manager for Rachel, and excited to have our kickoff here at Rachel Notley's campaign office. And without further ado, it's my honor to introduce Rachel Notley, MLA for Edmonton.
It's great to have all of you here. I'm very pleased to be able to talk. Which camera has me talking to our other campaign offices? You guys curious, that one? Hey guys, yeah. It's very exciting to have this opportunity to address our first round of excellent volunteers as we start our work on this campaign and start our work on the doors. So I'm really glad that you could all be there, and I'm really glad that you can be here as we open our fabulous campaign office, which is this not awesome? Yeah. Let me just say, finding real estate on White Ave, not easy. And to my fabulous campaign team that spent about 6 months doing it, this is a great victory, I'll tell you right there. But I'm really pleased, I'm very, very pleased that you can all be here, because we're basically getting ready to kick off an exciting campaign, one where we're going to be talking to Albertans about the choices that they have before them and the choices that we have as citizens of this province as we go forward. You know, we've heard Jim Prentice say a few times that our province is at a crossroads. Now I have to say, the first time I heard that I was a little taken aback, because I'd been saying it for several weeks before that. It was like they'd grabbed my speech. But nonetheless, the fact of the matter is that our province is at a crossroads. And we know that, the drop in the price of oil does mean some changes and some challenges for the people of this province. But unlike what we've seen from this Conservative government, you know, through my conversations with Albertans that I've been meeting across the province, in communities across the province, whether it be you know, business people, whether it be seniors, whether it be teachers, whether it be young Albertans, what I'm seeing is that Albertans are facing this challenge with optimism and with hope for the future. And they're doing that because our province has tremendous resources at its disposal. And it's not just the natural resources that we have and the non-renewable resources that we have, which of course are important. They are very important, but we have more than that. We have an amazing people. We have a resilient and focused workforce. We have the youngest population in the country. People are coming here from all over Canada to raise their families and build their lives. We have one of the most diverse populations in the country, and maybe not so much like this, like the PCs. Albertans as a whole embrace that diversity and want to celebrate that diversity. And we have the potential, we have amazing post-secondary institutions, trade schools, colleges, universities, all of which give us the opportunity to become more educated and to engage in diversity and diversification within our economy. These are a few of the many opportunities that we have in front of us. However, even though as our province is moving forward and we're more progressive and we're more forward-looking, even as that happens, I see that we are growing farther and farther away from this Conservative government. That this PC government is losing touch with Albertans, and is losing touch with the hopes and the aspirations of Albertans. So, and they can try to hide that. They can try to sort of cover that up by spinning the revolving leadership door just one more time. And certainly that's what they've done. But it doesn't matter how many times you spin that revolving leadership door and how many times you blame the leader before you. The fact of the matter is that door is still in the same house, and it's still sitting on the same rotten foundation. Absolutely. You know, we've had a premier running around telling us that we need to expect less. We need to be sad. We need to look at the ground and look at our feet a lot and we need to, be worried, and we need to all come together and expect less. That's what he's been telling us for the last little while. And so we saw what that looked like for Albertans when he introduced the budget a couple of days ago. And what is the new leader of the old party? What does his plan look like? Well, it looks a lot like a lot of old PC plans. We're seeing a government that has brought in a healthcare, a waiting room tax on Albertans. And not only have we had a waiting room tax introduced for Albertans, but they've made it very clear that that waiting room tax is not going to go to healthcare at all. That in fact we're going to take $1 billion out of healthcare. Why we're asking Albertans to pay a waiting room tax, while Albertans wait up to 70 hours to get admitted into an emergency room, while the number of surgeries for children at the Stollery Hospital double in a year. While that happens, Jim Prentice is telling us to pay more for less. He's telling us to pay a healthcare premium while we take $1 billion out of our healthcare. He's telling Alberta families, he's telling parents, you know what, next year we're going to have 12,000 more students in your school. But you know what? I'm not going to hire a single solitary new teacher. That's what he's telling Albertans. It's craziness. He's basically telling us that in 15 months, there might be a little bit of relief for a certain section of low-income working families. But 9 hours after the budget was introduced, $1.5 billion worth of tax increases were in place. So we can tax like that, but we can help working families, we can help vulnerable families 15 months down the road. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I remember when this government ran on eliminating child poverty in 5 years. And I think most of the folks in this room understand what that looks like. Not a single solitary action was taken by this government to fix that problem. So I don't know about you, but I'm wondering, do you believe that 15 months from now, we can count on this government to do anything that's going to help working families?
No.
It amazes me that they don't understand how little credibility they have. It's like they don't understand their record. They're not aware of their record. They're not aware of the framework through which Albertans view their promises now. People can't help but view what the PCs say through their record, through their history. And when that happens, that distance between this tired old PC party and Albertans, it changes and it grows and it grows. And what happens when that happens? Well, they start to look elsewhere. And let me tell you, my friends, I've been traveling, as I've said, across this province, and every place I go, people are coming to me and saying, this time, I want to look at the NDP. This time, I'm going to vote NDP. I've never voted NDP in my life. This time, I'm voting NDP. It's amazing. People from all across the province are turning and looking to us to provide the leadership and the focus and the path to a fairer, brighter, more optimistic Alberta for all Albertans, not just. Here's the thing, Albertans, when they hear what we have to say, when they hear what our wonderful candidates, those wonderful candidates that I'm talking to now through that camera, who are getting geared up to go out on the doorsteps and talk to Albertans and hear what they have to say, when Albertans hear our voice, they hear their voice. They hear somebody standing up for them. They hear somebody talking about their hopes, their dreams, their aspirations. They hear someone who's going to be at the table for them. And that's what we're going to do in this election, starting today and indefinitely for years to come. That's why. It's not starting today. We've been doing it for a long time. I'll pull a page from Prentice's book and I'll take one issue and announce it 10 times. So yes, we're here to stand up for Albertans. Our vision of the future of this province, I believe, matches the vitality of this province. I believe that we are the ones that are able to speak to the priorities of today's families. And we want to roll up our sleeves to make life more affordable and more fair for Alberta families. That's what we want to do here in the NDP. We want Albertans to share in our prosperity because you know what? We are a prosperous province. We continue to be a prosperous province. And we should all be able to share in that prosperity. And when things become challenging, we also think that we should share the load of that equally, fairly, among all Albertans. Not where we're asking regular working families to shoulder the whole burden and we're letting corporate Alberta off the hook without asking them to pay their fair share at all. That's not the way forward. That's not the kind of fair Alberta that Alberta's NDP wants to build. In this election, we're going to run on our values. And we're going to be clear and we're going to be frank with Albertans throughout it all. We're going to talk about what we believe in, and then we're going to keep our promise. And it seems like a simple thing, but compared to the record of this PC government, that's kind of a new thing. And I think it's something that Albertans are waiting for. They're desperate to have somebody present that to them, and that's what we're going to do. We have a plan. We are going to talk to Albertans about this plan over the course of this campaign. We're going to talk about diversifying our economy. We're going to talk about acting like owners of the resource. We're going to talk about making sure we have a fair tax system for all Albertans. But just to be very clear, what we saw in this budget that was introduced a couple days ago was not a progressive tax system. It was not by any means a progressive tax system. And Albertans have said unequivocally that that's what they want. They have said it is time to get rid of this flat tax. It is time to ask wealthy Albertans who are doing well to pay their fair share. And you know what? Wealthy Albertans who are doing well, they're also saying, you know what, we're cool with that. You know, we like our province. We understand that's fair. So we know that's what a fair tax system looks like, and that's what we're going to continue to push for. And then we're going to, as New Democrats, respect public dollars, because we've always done that. We are a party that is about jobs, making sure that there's jobs for regular families and for regular Albertans so that they can raise and support their families. And we are a party that respects the good work that is done by our public service, and we do that by respecting the dollars that we spend on it. And that's not new, that's not revolutionary, that's the way the NDP has always functioned, because we know those services are incredibly valuable. We cherish those services, so we're going to make sure that that they're dealt with responsibly. We've always been sound fiscal managers in our party, and we will deliver a platform that continues that record. So, and in this province, we're going to make sure that once and for all, and finally, and to begin, that we are going to adopt a plan to ensure we protect our air and our land and our water. Not only for the people of the province today, but for our children, our grandchildren, and their grandchildren, because, my friends, that is our job, and we have been ignoring it for far too long. And then we are going to invest in our future. And by that I mean we're going to make sure that our education system is able to provide a fair opportunity to excel to every child who wants that opportunity. We're not going to have overflowing classrooms. We're not going to force families to put their kids on a bus for an hour to drive to school and then to drive back to school. And we're going to make sure that those kids in our classrooms who have special learning needs, that those needs are honored and respected and addressed so that those kids have the same opportunities as every other kid. Because we care about our education system, and we know that Albertans care about it, and we know that they are incredibly disappointed by the neglect that we've seen with this Conservative government. So these are just some of the things that we're going to do. But it's not just a shopping list of policies. It's ideas that are founded on basic values of fairness, basic values of ensuring that we all share in our prosperity, a value of ensuring that we all do well, and when we all do well, we do better. It's that simple. We all know that. That's why we're New Democrats. And so these are the foundation of a new house. Not that tired old foundation with the spinning front door of leadership. This is a brand new house and one on which Albertans can rely. And so how do we make this happen, my friends? Well, today is the first day of that work, because today is where we go out and we start talking to Albertans, and today we are going to collectively, everybody in this room and everybody in that camera right there, we're going to go out with our amazing candidates and we are going to knock on 10,000 doors today. Right? Unlike the Tories, who spent hundreds of thousands of dollars claiming to ask Albertans what they want so they could then turn around and ignore completely and with impunity what Albertans told them they wanted, we're not going to spend any money. We're just going to use the soles of our shoes and our effort and our volunteer commitment, and we're going to go out there and we're going to talk to Albertans about what their Alberta should look like as far as they're concerned. And we're going to listen to where they want us to take Alberta, and we're going to talk to them about our ideas. And we're not going to use any public dollars to do it. We're just going to do it because we care about our province. So I want to thank everybody here today for the fact that they're putting in this time. I'm excited about our 10,000 door guarantee. I know this is the first of many, and I know that we're going to reach out to Albertans across this city and across this province. And I know that when it comes to election day, people are going to be very surprised by how many more NDP MLAs are sitting in that legislature, and how much better our province will be as a result. So thank you all very much for coming today.